albumin biisin nimeltä Bliss.
You know, they sort of changed over time, but I think they did change in the studio a little bit. You know, just sort of...
Not really.
Not a lot, you know, really.
I'd say the ones we did live and ones that stayed the same.
Yeah, pretty much. There was a few other sort of songs hanging around that time that they were sort of smaller ideas, and we might have done little pieces of in the festival circuit, but they sort of changed dramatically when we got in the studio. So, songs like Bliss, I think we tried to do that live once. It's completely different now.
Musen
I don't know, it's a case of timing, really, why we sort of chose each person, really. We sort of met up with Dave first in like September last year, and we just sort of met him, had a chat and talked about music and what he's done in the past, and we just sort of got on well, obviously, so we sort of agreed to go in and like just initially try and do Plug-in Baby because we knew it was going to be a single, but then we had some extra time and ended up recording like 5 tracks. And meanwhile, at that time, John Leckie was off doing something else, like Rubber Mile in Africa. And then after we finished with Dave, he had to go and do Tool, and then we met up with John Leckie, so then we had a chat with him, decided to go back in with him and do some more tracks. And I suppose, you know, the stuff with John Leckie was the slightly more weirder stuff. Slightly more experimental stuff, yeah.
Space rock disco stuff.
Yeah, space rock disco.
alkuperäisessä
I don't really know. I think influenced by lots of different things, you know.
Yeah.
It's like all sorts of films, partly a little bit, but mostly life, you know. And I've lost it. I've lost the plot.
Sort of looking out the window.
I don't know. Films. I like films. I'm not sure. Films. Don?
I don't know what films. What films did you watch? Fight Club? Did you like that film?
Fight Club.
Films.
I love that film. Yeah. Let me think.
Films that are looking at a different perspective.
I think some of the subject matter in those films is stuff that I'm interested in. Yeah. I wouldn't say I was influenced by those films. I'd just say that I'm influenced by modern times, whatever, and some of those subject matters are maybe similar. Talking about the fears and hopes of the evolution of people, and how technology is evolving around us, and what that means to us, and how technologies make us feel the need for more physical pain than what we actually. I think something like that, you know. I just saw similarities between some of the subject matter with those films. I wouldn't say I was actually influenced by them.
We normally sit down, Matt normally writes them out, and we sort of go through line by line.
Discussion. A meeting.
Have a big meeting about saying, hang on a minute, Matt, I'm not sure about this line here. Can you tell me all about that? That's what it's like.
No, really.
Really?
Really, no, we don't sit down in a big meeting and talk about it line by line, but you know, you can see into it. The good thing about it is you can read into it your own way. That's like, you know, for everyone. So you can sort of draw your own thing. And
my interpretation isn't the one. What's my one?
No, oikeasti.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's point of just messing around and trying to find a balance where everyone's happy and everyone's, it's comfortable and everyone's on the same page and everyone thinks it's good. You know.
Definitely. I mean, you know, we've never done anything where anyone's been like really unhappy with anything. There's never been any arguments or anything about stuff. So.
Joskus Matt Bellamy.
I did think about that. I did think about that. I thought we did get some. I got some strings in actually, and wrote some bits out for them. But we only ended up using one little bit of it because I thought it sounded a bit old. I think it's nicer to try and use more modern instruments to make those things. But maybe one day I'll do something. But I think it's a little bit pretentious maybe to use something that is very much an old stage in evolution. Because it was before electronic technology really came in that we were required to make people work like machines to learn their instruments, and so that composers could treat human beings like machines and make them play like a machine. But I think in this day and age we have machines to do that instead, something like that.
Tavallaan
we spent a day driving around. I mean, the reason it's difficult is because the song is about deconstructing the church, you know, and saying how it's a relic of the past, and about how you know, basically it's just something to empower man, to give man power, just you know, to take money from people, stuff like that. Well, I suppose there are some good things behind it, but the Pope's corrupt, and so there's a whole lot, you know, it really is. But some people will deny that. But anyway, so the reason we had difficulty with that because obviously they wanted to check the lyrics and stuff. Some of them wanted to check the lyrics to see if there's any satanic, ritualistic stuff in there. So I told them it was about something completely different. And we went to a number of churches. We ended up using one that was quite a nice, it wasn't mad, well, it was quite big. But it had a very good organ, you know. And the vicar let us in. It was okay.
So, have you played church before?
Oh, church organ?
Yeah.
No. I've always wanted to. So that's one of the reasons. That's the first time I ever played it. Yeah.
So how was it like? Did you creeps when you first?
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, it's so loud. You know.
Yeah.
It's probably the loudest acoustic instrument around. You know. And I like that.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's the only thing worth going to a church for.
Yeah. Okay. There are actually a lot of keyboards on the album. I'm gonna be good.
Satan. Sorry.
No, we're probably not going to go there till next year now. I think the album's sort of been held back so we can tour Europe and stuff this year, and then maybe go over there in January. I think that's when the album's...
I think it's coming out there in January, so we're going there then to probably spend a large portion of next year there.
So that's the young or the record company plan.
It was sort of like, it was a record company plan, and then we said, yeah, we'll do that.
Ja päätteeksi
Seemed pretty smooth. We had that pretty clear icons to do before we went in the studio. So, you know, we had like a list, and we said, right, we're going to do this, and we had a pretty clear idea of, you know, the way some of the songs were going to be treated and maybe how they were going to sound. So we sort of got in there and just sort of did it, really. And we weren't sort of in the studio sort of going, oh damn, what we're going to do. A lot of bands can spend a lot of time in the studio, not in the actual studio recording, which costs a lot of money as well. So, you know, we just sorted it out first in like rehearsals, and then sort of just went in and did it over like 4 studios as well. So we moved around quite a lot.